You've heard 100% beef, but what about the other 90% of the burger? We're opening the bun, the sauce, the cheese, line by line, to see why a US McDonald's order reads like an industrial shopping list while Europe's looks like, well, food. Stay with me.
What's in a Big Mac? What's in their French fries? What's in the chicken nuggets? What's in a McRib? The secret ingredient in their salt. You guys aren't gonna believe this.
In the next minute, you'll see the exact ingredients the US allows, like high fructose corn syrup and ammonium sulfate, and how the same brand sells simpler recipes overseas. If you care about your budget and your family's plates, this is the label reading lesson the ads never show you. Quick favor before we move on. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great, thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video.
This is quite a spread of diabetes, obesity, chronic disease, and unhappiness.
You've heard 100% beef, but the cheapest part of the meal is where the action is. Let's start with the bun. In the US, a standard roll is not just flour, water, yeast, salt. It often runs 15 to 20 plus items. Sweeteners for taste and browning. Dough conditioners to keep it soft for days. Preservatives so it ships, sits, and still springs back when you press it. The logo stays the same across borders, but the recipe doesn't. In parts of Europe, the list looks like a bakery card. Flour, water, yeast, salt, a little oil, maybe sugar. That's it. Same chain, different rulebook. So which one are you getting when you order here? Walk a US label line by line.
So these are chicken meat with bleached wheat flour added. The problem with bleached wheat flour is some of the chemicals they use to bleach the wheat flour can be harmful for humans. Trust me, I get it. I used to eat chicken nuggets as a kid. That is cooked in 4 different types of seed oils: corn, canola, soybean, and hydrogenated soybean oil.
Enriched flour means basic flour with vitamins added back after heavy processing. High fructose corn syrup adds cheap sweetness, speeds browning, and helps with shelf life. Ammonium sulfate shows up as a yeast booster and dough conditioner. Calcium sulfate is there to keep the crumb tight and the bun sturdy. You'll also see emulsifiers that help oil and water play nice so the texture stays uniform. And if you spot natural flavors, that's a legal umbrella for a lot of different compounds without listing each one. Across the Atlantic, regulators push a precaution-first approach, and menus were widely reformulated in 2018 to drop artificial preservatives.
Seed oils are something that humans never would have been exposed to before. 100 years ago, they were used as machine lubricants, and now they're a huge part of our food supply. But the fact that there are 4 seed oils in chicken nuggets means that you're gonna be getting tons of this fat. Hydrogenated soybean oil, that's like a trans fat. You know that's gonna be a problematic thing because of how it's processed, extra heated.
That's why a German-style list often caps at flour, water, yeast, salt, oil, sugar. Fewer moving parts. Fewer additives to track. Back to the US bag. Why the extra chemistry? Ammonium sulfate feeds the yeast so the dough rises on schedule. HFCS is cheap, sweet, and helps color. Calcium sulfate acts like scaffolding so the bun doesn't sag under heat and sauce. And servings here tend to be larger, which means more of each additive per meal.
It messes up the way you make energy in your mitochondria by causing proton leak across the inner mitochondrial membrane. Linoleic acid, which I'm not a fan of. Why do I not like linoleic acid? High level, not to get too technical, linoleic acid accumulates in your body. It accumulates in all the cell membranes, your mitochondrial membranes. The seed oils also can break down into harmful compounds called the HODs and the heats. These are called oxalams or oxylipins, etc.
The real kicker, it's not just the bun. Fries, nuggets, sauces, and cheese carry their own stories. So when you hear 100% beef, remember the patty can be pure while everything around it handles cost, texture, and time. Next, we're opening the rest of the tray: fries, nuggets, and cheese, and what that means for your wallet and your plate.
Ranch dressing, first ingredient, is not any sort of dairy. It's, say it with me, soybean oil. You've got the sweet and sour sauce, first ingredient, high fructose corn syrup, so problematic seed oils and high fructose corn syrup, the highly processed, essentially weaponized form of sugar in sweet and sour sauce with your chicken McNugget.
If the bun is a chemistry class, the rest of the tray is lab day. Let's start with fries, nuggets, cheese, then sauces. Each one gets a US twist for shelf life and cost. The goal is speed, consistency, and long hold times. Flavor is along for the ride. The fry should be a potato. In the US, it is often a four-step product. First the factory blanches, then par fries, then freezes, then ships. Your store refries. That pipeline strips fresh taste, so the US adds beef flavor made from wheat and milk derivatives to punch it back up. In parts of Europe, the same fry runs in plain vegetable oil with oil and salt simplicity. Fewer add-ons. Cleaner taste.
Not a huge fan of chicken nuggets, but I think that a lot of kids out there have eaten a lot of these oils, and that is contributing to childhood obesity, childhood diabetes, behavioral problems. There's nothing good about chicken nuggets at McDonald's. And since then, these have increased massively. Obviously, there are many things that have caused these health conditions to skyrocket in the last 100 to 115 years, but I think seed oils are a major contributor to this.
Now nuggets. They are preformed and pre-fried in plants, then reheated in store. Think molded pieces designed to cook fast and match the photo. The US blend uses mixed cuts with fillers and binders for that springy bite. In the UK, the standard is breast meat with a tighter list. The pipeline matters here too. Pre-frying sets the crust, freezing changes moisture, and the final cook boosts fat uptake. That is why the texture hits the same note every time. Cheese next. US slices lean on emulsifiers so they melt on cue and land glossy. The bright color comes from yellow 5 and yellow 6. Europe often reformulates colors or keeps the label shorter. The debate on these dyes is not new, and overseas rules push warning labels, which nudges cleaner swaps. Zoom out to the kitchen. Clamshell grills press patties from both sides in seconds. Warming cabinets hold food to smooth the rush. Fast, uniform, efficient. But you trade sear for steam. That is the playbook. One more twist. Hot, greasy food can pull stuff from wrappers and boxes. PFAS in grease-resistant paper, microplastics in packaging, phthalates in contact materials. Not every wrapper, not every time, but if you are a regular, it adds up. So how does Europe compare? Across buns, fries, nuggets, and preservatives, Europe trends simpler. The brand can make it. The US just does not default to it. Next, I will show you how to spot the short label fast and swap without raising your bill. The 100% beef line is a decoy. Your real cost and risk sit in the bun, the fryer oil, the slice, and the sauce. That's where long labels, dyes, and preservatives do the work. Ultra-processed food is tied to a wide range of bad outcomes. The patty is clean, the system around it isn't. Choose the short label. Fewer ingredients, clearer words, less guesswork. If this gave you something to chew on, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who orders on autopilot. Next time, we'll map the cheapest swaps that cut additives without raising your bill. Same price, fewer tricks, better odds.